Now I'm going to use a font family for this project, so I'm going to paste this from my GitHub repo. I'm using the Google font, and I will write the body selector, CSS selector, and let's give the font family of, say, Poppins and say sans serif. So we have our font. Let's give it a background color of, let's say, background color of gray. Now I'm gonna set the margin to 0, and I want the overflow of, if the content gets overflow horizontally, x-axis, I want the content to be hidden. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to open this in a split down view, and we can see our HTML file here. So we have got a better view. Let's modify the content. So it's a content container. So inside this container, we will give a background color of antique white, and this is the nav bar, and this is where the content is, and I'm going to give it a width of 100 viewport width, VW. It's gonna take the whole width of the page. I'm gonna set the height to 100%. Then I'm going to add a padding around the container of about 20 pixel. So you can see that the padding has been added, and after that let's design this our circle navigation bar. So I'm going to select the dot circle container, and before doing that, let's design our circles. So let's say dot, it's a circle selector, and I'm gonna give it a background color of, let's say, this one, so we can see that it's taking the whole width. So I'm gonna set the height to 200 pixel, and I'm gonna set the width to 200 pixel. So you can see that it's a box shape. So we have our circle here, and let's add a border. It's a border of, let's say, 2 pixel solid, and let's use the color RGB 11 113 58 38. Okay, we have a border here. Now to make it round, let's give it a border radius of 50%. So it's gonna make it round, and so we have a round shape of the, so we have a circle. So after adding the border radius, we have a circle here. And now let's position this circle to relative, because after positioning this to relative, we can move the children, that is the button, in absolute position. So now let's design the circle buttons. So we have two button classes inside the circle div. Let's say cursor pointer. We'll give a cursor pointer. Then we'll position it absolute. Say absolute. We're gonna position this absolute. And so if as I have positioned this absolute, so basically two buttons are overlapping one another. That's why we see only one button here. And let's make the background of this button transparent, so that no full transparent background. Let's make the border to 0. Now let's position this. We're gonna position it from the top 50% and from the left relative to the circle, let's say 50%, and let's make the font size bigger. Font size to be about 30 pixel. So now we can actually see it. Let's make it 5 pixel. Also, I'm going to give it a height of this button. Let's give it a height of about 100 pixel here. So in the circle container, this half of this actually 1/4 will be shown in here. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'm going to give the position of this circle container to fixed position. So you see it is fixed, and from the top it is going to take minus 100 pixel. You see that it has already gotten, and from the left, we can say it's another minus 100 pixel. Let's say left. So we see that around 1/4 of the arc is shown here. So now let's format our content area. So select the content, select CSS selector, and I'm going to give it a margin from the top and the bottom 100 pixel, and I want it position auto on the left and right. Then I'm going to max width of about 1000 pixel, and I want the overflow of content to be hidden. Now for the dot content, there is a h1 tag. Let's design that. I'm going to remove the margin of the default margin of h1 tag, and then give it a different color. So color of let's say CHO, let's give it this color. After that, so this is our h1. Now let's format the small tag. It's content small, and it's a margin of 0 pixel 0. The font will be in the font style. It's a font style will be in italic. The color, let's use this color, and I'm going to give it a line height of say 1.5. Okay, now no, we don't need the line height here. Now for the paragraph tag, let's say content p tag, and I'm going to make this a little bit bold. The font's weight, say weight to 600. The margin, no margin will be 0, and the color, let's use this one, and let's give it a line height of 1.6.